to talk about the fences. It's time to discuss operations and expenses. It's time, it's really time to elevate small businesses. It's time for Joe to drop his knowledge. It's relentless. This rhyme of mine is getting a bit ridiculous. So here we go. We're live with Joe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, everybody? Joe Evers, Fence Expert, coming to you live from FenceTech 2025 in Salt Lake City, hosted by the American Fence Association. Before we get going, we've got to shout out the American Fence Association for putting on another great event. As we're looking out here, so we're kind of right in the middle of the show floor. Lots of people, lots of conversations going, and I tell you what, a lot of full booths.
It's been really busy the whole time.
It has been. Now, if you guys have watched the channel at all and you've heard us talk about stain, you know we love the Expert Professional Wood Care products. We love using them. They sponsor the show, but they sponsor the show because we are customers first, and we love using the products. If you watch our content on Expert Professional Wood Care products, you know the man to my left. But for the few people that maybe aren't in the staining world, a brief introduction.
I'm Michael Taylor with Expert Wood Care. Most people call me Bam. Just a little easier.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Bam, you're one of those guys there that is just kind of the jack of all trades. You're in the system, making things work, and it seems like you always got your hands in something a little bit different over there.
Well, I guess I came in from the beginning and know all sides of it, so I can just a jack of all trades. I guess.
The Swiss Army knife.
Absolutely.
So Expert Professional Wood Care products, as the name suggests, wood staining products is your guys' niche.
That's it. Yeah. Wood care.
Oil-based wood stains.
Yes.
I like to say, this is what I say, it's the stain that doesn't stink.
Absolutely. The stain that doesn't stink.
And I'll tell you guys a little bit of the backstory. So we tried a lot of the stains, we'll say that. And for us, and the reason I keep saying the stain that doesn't stink is that was the biggest feedback. That's the first thing I noticed, but it's the biggest feedback from both our team members and our customers was, what is that smell? And because it can be a chemical smell that can make people uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And even it would take a long time to try to explain to them what the smell was and why it wasn't. It was okay. And then I tell you what, I followed Caleb on Facebook. He was doing some content, some videos, and I thought, you know what? And he was saying, if you'd like a sample, reach out. So I reached out and got a sample. And that was the first thing I noticed. Pop the top, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't stink. No chemical smell.
When you're pre-staining,
yes.
No headache for your guys.
That's right.
You don't want your guys going home with a headache every day.
No headaches, no coughs.
Right.
And that is one of the things that we'd kind of notice is if we were pre-staining in an enclosed room, it just kind of sit at the back of your throat,
I'm glad I've never done that one.
It wasn't fantastic. Okay. It wasn't fantastic. But suffice to say, stain that doesn't stink mean a lot to us. If you guys stain fences and you're interested, I would reach out to the team for getting a sample in. I feel like you'd have a pretty similar experience.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about Expert Professional Wood Care products.
Okay, well, Expert Wood Care products, the main thing is we're conditioning oils that deep penetrate, that go into the wood and protect the wood from the inside out. Most products have a shell coating that the water bounces off until it cracks, and then water gets in.
Yep.
Ours, the oil goes deep inside and penetrates the wood, and with that much oil in there, it cannot go in.
Sure.
So it just repels it, sort of stabilizes your wood.
Okay.
It reduces your warping and twisting because it stabilizes. It does not have that expansion and contraction that leather usually does.
Well, and that's one thing we had noticed, and now this might surprise a lot of people out there, but I'm not a scientist. But what I've noticed was that it always tended, so when we would see fence pickets cup, it tended to cup towards the sunny side of the board, the dry side of the board. And then when you look, and then it kind of clicked that when you look at like a sponge, like if you're doing dishes and sponge dries, it always cups to the dry side.
Absolutely.
And it clicked like, oh, wait a minute. So the board is acting like a sponge. That makes sense. It's porous. It absorbs water. Now it's warping because that side consistently dries first, and it's constricting that way.
Over and over and over and over and over.
Every time it rains.
And then every day, our place, you have dew.
Well, that's true.
Heavy dew.
Yeah.
And it gets wet every morning.
That's true. So what you're saying is the oil, one of the properties of the oil is it conditions the wood, it stabilizes it to keep that from happening.
Absolutely, and we've seen a lot of fence companies that has really reduced their callback significantly.
Sure.
I mean, if you stabilize that wood as soon as possible,
Yeah.
you stop that, and that's main callbacks, right? I mean,
Absolutely. Now, another thing I noticed too was that the tone is really good. The colors.
absolutely.
I don't know the scientific term for it, but there's more like coloration in the stain than
vibrant colors.
Vibrant colors. There's just more of that, it seems like, in the stain. We see that in staying power of the color.
Absolutely. Well, with our formula, we do put in more pigments than many others. I mean, I don't know any other that puts as much pigment as we do in there.
Got it. So what I call coloration, the real word is pigment.
Yes.
There's more pigment in it.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
All right, very good. So variety of colors. How many colors are available?
19 colors.
19 colors.
19 colors. 6 log and timber colors.
6 log and timber.
Yes.
Can we talk about, for real quick, maybe the difference between a log and timber and a fence?
Sure, absolutely. So the log and timber stain, it has a double pigment,
Okay.
double binding agent,
Okay.
okay? And it also has natural defense.
Okay.
You're a fan of natural defense.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So it automatically has natural defense mixed in that prevents boring insects, mosquitoes,
Yep.
termites,
Sure.
all types of things that will damage your wood for exteriors of homes.
Got
And
it.
it automatically comes in, as you know, the natural defense, you can mix it in with any of our stain products
Yep.
and put that in there as your extra.
Well, and I'll say this, it's not like an advertised use either, but what I found you can do is mix it with some water in a spray bottle and spray it on your yard before the kids have friends over for like nighttime movies.
Absolutely.
It does a great job of that.
You can emulsify natural defense in water. You can do it in paint. You can do it in stain, in anything. It will emulsify in any liquid.
But it automatically comes in the log and timber.
Yes, automatically in the log and timber. So
Got it.
You know, and that's the premium of our stain brand.
Sure.
So you have double everything plus your natural defense automatically in it.
So not only defending against UV, against rot, against warp and twist, but also against insects as well.
Yes.
Incredible.
And it will never crack, chip, or peel. You will never have to strip or sandblast your cabin, and that's $20,000 to $30,000.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, a lot of them, you may get lower, but most of them is $20,000, $30,000.
It's a 5-figure deal.
Yeah, it's just
without
to
a
strip
doubt.
it.
Now, I'm in the Facebook group. We can talk about the Facebook group here in a minute, but I've seen some of the guys that are doing that. I mean, Stanton Frank comes to mind as a guy that does a lot of that. Good for him, but I don't want to do it. You know, it's a process. There's a reason it's 5 figures. There's a lot of work to that.
But once, if you use our product, once you get that other one off,
Yep.
you strip it once,
You're done.
and you just recoat after that.
So that's the thing. So then it's just reapplication.
It's just reapplication. You will never have to sandblast your home again, because it does damage. No matter what you say, you're sandblasting wood. It will damage the wood. It's taking some wood off.
Right. Absolutely.
So-
I mean, that's how that's coming off.
Yeah, right.
So reapplication. Now I know it probably varies how often, but is there an average for like a fence versus a log cabin on how often you should reapply?
Yeah, fences, 3 to 5 years, you're going to get a really good, it'll be, of course, on your customer, right?
Sure.
But reasonably 3 to 5 years. Now, homes, you can get a little longer.
Sure.
But they're still going to go 5 to 10 years somewhere in there.
Okay.
They're going to want to, and you'll be able to recoat it more often, cheaper.
Right.
Than if you strip it.
Well, and that's an important point to make. So when we're talking about reapplication, the oils largely are still there. What we're seeing is the UV protection is really like a sacrificial layer.
Absolutely.
Right. So as that UV damage is pounding this coating, it's degrading it. So by reapplying, really what you're doing is recoating that surface.
The color.
Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. And you're going to penetrate a little bit more in
Sure.
the oil, replacing the surface oil.
Okay.
Because it's still in there.
Yeah.
The oil is still in there deeper, but you'll replace that surface oil that is dried out.
Got it. So often less material used then probably too.
For sure. Yeah, your second coating of a fence, a deck, a home is going to be a lot less product.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say probably 25% less.
Okay. Good to know. Now, also on the reapplication, we've done this a couple times, so I know it's possible. So we have we had coated a fence, we had stained a fence, and then the house had sold. New people came in. It's time to reapply. They said, we really wish that was darker.
Yeah.
You don't have to strip. You don't have to do any of that. You just reapply with a darker stain.
Yes, and
It was exactly the same process as if we went back with the same color to go to a darker color.
right. And if you went from a bright red, a redwood or something to something else, okay, it's easy enough. Wood cleaner, you'll get some wood cleaner, put it on there. It is a mild stripper.
Okay.
So if you want to change the color of our product and you say, I want a totally different color, you put wood cleaner, you can just a low light pressure and it will strip that stain right off.
Okay.
And you can put any color you want back on it.
Right back over it.
Don't try that with black. Just saying.
I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that. Well, so that's kind of a natural segue into the cleaning products.
Yes.
So another line is the cleaning products. What's available on the cleaning side?
Okay, so we have Eco Cleaner.
Okay.
It's mainly for new wood, less than a year old.
Okay.
That just lightly clean to get it back to refurbish. And then wood brightener after every cleaning.
Okay.
You have a wood brightener to bring it back to its natural color. Rinse that off, 13% moisture, ready to stain. That's Eco. Then wood cleaner is just our next number one product, our cleaning.
Okay.
It is a mild stripper, a heavy cleaner. It's our go-to. It's what most people use. It brings all the tannins to the surface, and the wood, you just clean that off, add the brightener, it brings back to its natural color again.
Makes it pop.
Lets it dry, restain it, and then we have a stripper. So we have a stripper that's a heavy stripper for oil-based coatings. We have butyl boost that we'll add to it for water-based coatings.
Okay.
And that's the way you do those. So that, and then we have a product called, really underutilized, called Cleanup.
Okay.
Caleb really don't like the name of it. That's okay, right? But I love the product. I do not leave home without it. It is a degreaser, very, very concentrated. And I don't think a contractor should have stain on his truck without cleanup.
You should have some cleanup ready just in case. Just in case. Now, the wood brightener, one thing I've noticed too is, so we clean the fence, but sometimes you see like nail stains, right? Depends on the nails used and all that, but a lot of times you'll see those streaks.
You know the science of all that a lot better than I do.
Well,
I know. You've had it, right?
I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, though, so I don't know. But the wood brightener, in my experience, it does lighten those. Mm-hmm. Depends on how dark the stain is, how deep it is, and all that. But if nothing else, I think it's safe to say it lightens it.
Absolutely.
Just so that you don't have a beautifully clean fence followed by, still have nail stains, the rust stains, and then we're going to stain over that and lock it in.
And it will help some of the green treated.
Okay.
To sort of dull that down. Sometimes it's bright.
Yep, absolutely.
It will dull it. Now,
absolutely.
It won't take it out, but it will dull it. Right.
Well, and I want to say that about the nail stains too. Is in our experience, it's not 100%, but it's not meant to be. It's a brightener.
Absolutely.
But an after effect is that it can lighten. Sometimes if the stains are really light, you don't even see them.
Right.
But
same with other.
Yeah, it's worth saying that those aren't the direct, as selling points of the product, but it's a nice after effect.
Something to try when you're in that spot.
Yeah.
Because you get that spot.
Worst case, they're still going to be there and you're still going to stain over it. So at least give it a shot to try to lessen them.
Yes.
So we're talking about stain, we're talking about wood cleaners. What else is new for the Expert line?
Okay, so I think we go into training.
Okay,
So we have our new training.
Very good.
Virtual Staining University.
Okay.
Is it March 7th? Is that correct?
March 7th, yeah. It would be next Friday. It would be a week from tomorrow.
We have a guest. I think he's going to be in orange.
Guest in orange. Who could that be? Guys, if you're watching along at home, type in the comments who you think that could possibly be. So happy to come on. We're going to talk about, I love talking about marketing. I love talking about media. That's this situation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, I saw some other big names. I saw Matt Warner. I saw Idaho Painter involved in that too. I mean, obviously, Caleb will be involved as well. Do you have a role in this as well?
I'm not sure. I'm
Okay,
not sure what
okay.
they tell. Well, I do what they tell me to do, right?
That's
Like
fair,
you said, we're
that's
a
fair.
jack of all trades.
Bingo.
And this may be one of my trades.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay. But I love the idea of virtual training. So we've had, I say we, so you guys have hosted Standing University for years.
You can say we, Joe. You've been there every time. Okay?
But for in-person training.
Absolutely.
Great experience.
Yes.
But some of the feedback that comes in is, well, the timing's kind of a tough, and for people outside the Midwest, it's kind of hard to get to. Well, the beautiful part about virtual learning is if you've got an internet connection, which if you're watching this, I believe you do, you can participate in the virtual training.
Correct. And you can be there in person, listening to the whole thing, or we found the best thing, you can push record later, you can push play at a
Perfect.
later time, and you can, we were able to reach a whole lot more people, help
Yeah.
a whole lot more people, because you can only help so many people in person.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and that was really kind of the problem, was that room was getting really tight. And it was,
Yes.
and you guys changed rooms. You
Yeah,
changed venues to get a bigger room, and it's still full.
And we would have to go something like this. Like this
Yeah.
is your next, or
Yeah.
half of this, your next step is something like that. And that is just a massive undertaking.
Monumental.
Yeah.
But yeah, the virtual standing reaches everyone. To your point, if the weather's good and you're wanting to get after it, go get after it, and then just come back later and press play. Maybe that evening, or maybe on the weekend. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe when it rains,
Absolutely.
press play.
And we had, I believe it was Dan Wheeler said last year he was out staining a fence and had his earphones on,
Yep.
listening to the whole podcast while he was
Perfect.
the whole virtual event.
Perfect. And that is the ideal scenario, right? You can listen to it, you can participate as you have time.
Right.
Now, there is a hands-on training going on too.
Yes, there is. You sort of have to go across the border
It's
today.
it's a bit further to travel.
Yes, it is. So we're partnered with Fence Armor for
Very
Standing
good.
University, Canada.
Okay. Excellent.
So myself, I believe one of our top stainers is Joseph Menendez is going to be there with
I
us.
love that. Yeah,
So he,
I love that.
The knowledge he has, he stains more decks than anybody I know.
Now, they're at the Fence Armor facility, or
Yes,
where's it
at
located
the Fence
at?
Armor facility.
Very good.
I believe it's the 26th, 27th, I believe,
Okay.
of March.
Well, jump on the website for more information. Just to
Absolutely.
verify
Jump on the
that.
website. Yeah, I believe 27th, 28th, 26th, 27th.
In that ballpark.
Yeah, in that ballpark.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Yep.
So-
For hands-on training, because that was some of the feedback I believe that came through too, was that it's great if you're in the United States, it's easier to travel, but if you're outside the United States, it's tough to come. It's tough to come into the States.
Yeah.
So
it's gotten hard to go back and forth.
yeah,
I mean, stuff going on. It's just been really hard for a lot of those to even try to come. To
it's
see.
easier to bring the staining there,
Yes.
or the Standing University up there.
Right.
So if you guys are in Canada or the northern United States and would like to, check out more information. Check out the website for more information on Standing University Canada,
Correct.
Hosted by Fence Armor.
Correct.
Very
Absolutely.
good. So what else is new? You guys have a lot going on. I feel like I keep asking, but there's just a lot of new stuff. I hear little whispers, little rumors. What else is going on?
Well, okay. So we are also, you have Expert Wood Care.
Yep.
We are partnering with Stain and Sew Experts franchise company.
Okay.
That will be launching very soon.
Okay.
Some of the most prominent stain names in the game is going to be a part of this. So it's just coming onto the scene. So it's exclusive with our product.
Okay. So Stain and Seal Experts is offering franchise opportunities. So if you're in staining, or maybe you're interested in getting into staining, but you're looking for a more kind of done-for-you model as far as policies, procedures, that sort of thing, the franchise model is probably the model for you.
Absolutely.
And that's what, and you mentioned it, that's some rumors I've heard. There's some names that if you're in the staining world, you're familiar with them.
Yep.
Some pretty big names are coming into the Stain and Seal franchise.
Yes.
For themselves.
Yes, they are. And, the biggest thing with the franchise company is you're getting all the experience that we've had, all the learning curves, the marketing, all those things that is hard to just get right.
Yeah.
You get that in a box, right?
Yeah, and it's a little bit, you could see it as a shortcut to success.
Yes.
Right.
It's the thing is we want to be able to do in 1 year what we've done in 10.
Absolutely.
And
Just
we can
empower
do
them.
that with 50 people this year, Right.
Excellent.
We'll have that as a success.
Absolutely. Across the United States,
Yes.
franchise opportunities. Now, they'll want to reach out to Stain and Seal to figure out if there's a franchise opportunity in their neck of the woods. Because like I said, I've already heard several names thrown
Yes.
around. So
Yeah, you need to make sure it's in your area.
Yeah.
And of course, in big regions, there's going to be split areas, split
Sure,
territories.
sure.
It'll have to be.
Yeah.
You can't service a 500-mile territory
Yeah.
unless you're in Texas, and then there'll be 5 of them, right? 500-mile territories.
Right. Now, but the idea being you want to check out to make sure it's available in your area.
Yes.
The names I've heard are, I'm not going to say the names, don't panic, but the names I've heard, though, are existing stainers and someone that's in a staining-related trade.
Correct.
Right? So it sounds like it's a good fit for people that have already found success with staining, but maybe are looking to supercharge the business side of that, or have doing a related trade, but maybe want to get into it, and what I said earlier is just shortcut their path to success.
And as y'all are fence experts, fencers, I believe it's a perfect opportunity. You have a
Yeah.
large fence company, you do wood. If you have a Stain and Seal Experts franchise, all those customers that you've built for the last 20 years are now customers.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a built-in customer base.
Absolutely.
And it's a great upsell.
Yes.
So if we're doing your fence, if you want to keep it, looking better longer, I've got a great solution for you. We can pre-stain that. We're getting ahead of ourselves. You can stain it on site, or you can pre-stain it. This is probably a good segue into pre-staining.
In my opinion, this is of course my opinion.
Of course.
No fence should be bid without staining included.
Yep, absolutely. Every bid we put out has the option to upgrade to a pre-stained product.
Absolutely. If you give them the option and explain to them the benefits,
Yeah.
the majority of them want to protect their investment.
Majority, and that's important. So when we look at our wood proposals, about 62% go for the upgrade.
Absolutely.
They say, hey, I do, this isn't a small investment. This is, depending on the project, likely a large investment. Wouldn't you want to protect that investment? Keep it it looks great day one, but we can also keep it looking better longer. Doesn't that make sense? Absolutely. Here's a number for it. Let's go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing we've done, though, is we've moved away from staining on-site to offering pre-stained products. And this is probably a good time to talk about it.
Now segue.
Yeah, I knew I was wanting to talk to you guys about that, because pre-stain is also in kind of the wheelhouse of what you guys do.
Absolutely. So expert wood care product, we also partner with Gopher Wood.
Yep.
So Gopher Wood is stained with our product.
Okay.
Chestnut is the
Excellent.
premium product, is the one, the go-to, as in truckloads or bundle quantities of those. We also provide some custom colors at a upcharge.
Sure.
But the majority, you want to go chestnut and stay with it. And we've had a lot of companies that were really interested, even some that don't do much wood.
Sure.
They do all vinyl, they do all metal. They don't want to provide much wood. So provide a premium wood.
Yeah, but you still want to give an option to.
Yes.
There's a lot of customers where, they're in the wood market. So in our HOA, it requires wood.
Right.
For better or worse.
That's better, Joe.
But so something like that, it would be good for if you're a fence company, if you're specializing in vinyl, if you're specializing in ornamental, but you'd like to get in these neighborhoods that offer wood. The Gopher Wood's a great way to offer the premium product, already pre-stained. You don't have to mess with going out there, cleaning it, staining it after you install it. It's just done when you go out.
But Joe, if you want to, we also have a pre-stain machine. The
Yes, sir.
Expert stain machine.
Yes, sir.
That you can pre-stain. Smaller fence companies can do custom jobs.
Yep.
In their spare time on rain days.
Yes, sir.
Can,
or snow days,
or
any weather days in general.
Right. If it's bad weather, you can pre-stain it, put the fence up, pre-stain. So
Yep.
we offer the stain machine as well as our product. Included in that, the dry time is very little, pretty much ready to stack.
Absolutely. Yeah, you let it drip for a little bit and then it's ready to go. Now, one thing too, so a use case for both would be, you said Gopher Wood's chestnut.
Yep.
Looks great. Now, let's pause real quick, rewind. What type of wood are we talking about with Gopher Wood?
It's old growth Japanese cedar.
Got it. So we're talking about a cedar product,
Yes.
pre-stained, ready to go. But say your customers, you're offering that chestnut, but you've got a customer that wants gray or wants red or wants some other color. That I think that's really where the staining machine shines. Is I would for a upcharge, I would be happy to do a special order color for you. That's really where that staining machine comes in.
Order the stain, run it through the machine. One guy, two guys can knock that out. I mean, really quick jobs.
Absolutely.
Just, they run by really quick through the stain machine.
And doesn't take up a lot of space either.
No, it's the size of a table saw.
Yeah.
Like me and you can pick it up with one arm each, Joe.
Absolutely. And it folds up. It can go away in the corner. It doesn't take up dedicated shop floor space.
Absolutely. Less than a pallet. Less than a small pallet.
Clean process.
Yes.
So
it all goes back inside of it. With our product, you can clean the brushes and rollers with Dawn and water.
Dawn and water. Well, because the oil base.
The oil base, yeah. And with the ultra-low VOCs, it does not gum up and stick like most.
Well, and the ultra-low VOCs, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about chemical smell,
Absolutely.
right? So if you're in an enclosed shop, if we're talking about winter work or rain work or whatever, that's really where that comes into play too. Now, the staining machine itself, everything drains into the bucket, and then you would manually put it back up. And the reason I talk about that is I've had experience with others that maybe involved pumps or some sort of mechanism to recycle that stain. Right. Your guys take that out of it.
Yes.
Right. So we're relying on gravity, which gravity is undefeated.
Yeah, it works every time.
It works every time.
I've never outdone it.
But it's a simpler process. It's a simpler piece of equipment.
You just make sure you strain it good as it comes through, because sawdust is your enemy. That's the whole pump problem is sawdust, right?
That's it.
It's going to come off. So you strain it. We usually, when we do it, we strain it again. So we double strain it. And get it strained in the bottom, strain it as you pour it back in. And then if you're halfway done with the job and you go home, you leave it. Start tomorrow. Just mix the stain up again. Put it back in there.
That's the important part. Make sure you mix it.
But you don't have to clean the rollers and brushes and
or replace them because something's dried.
Yeah, they're not going to stick overnight. Just start it back up tomorrow and keep on going.
Ready to go. So if you have a big project that's like a day and a half of stain, you're not going to have to tear down, clean, and then the next day reassemble, get going.
Right.
Very good. So guys, I feel like we covered a lot in this conversation. One, Expert Wood Care, incredible stain. We've used it for longer than I can remember. We've used it for an incredibly long time. I love it. Caleb, Ashley, the whole team takes great care of us, and I know they'll take great care of you guys. It's worth a shot. Give them a try. We also talked about training, so if you're using the products, or even if you're interested in using the products but don't feel comfortable yet, virtual training is available a week from Friday, a week from tomorrow. You can get it anywhere you got an internet connection.
Correct.
If you're in Canada, you can get hands-on training.
The end of March, 26, 27.
Very good. We talked about pre-stain pickets. Great way to add value for fence companies.
It is.
Pre-stained gopher wood. It comes in, it's already done. You don't have to worry about pre-staining. Or you can use the machine to pre-stain custom colors if that's a way that you're interested in adding even additional value.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, in our product, the extra benefit of your bottom line.
Yeah.
Like when you say 62%, that's stain. So I don't know about you. Most people, it's like almost doubling your profit margin at that point.
It helps it tremendously.
Like,
it helps it tremendously.
If you add, it's just crazy to me. It doubles your margin or close.
It's a win-win.
Right.
The customer's getting a great product. They're getting a better product than they thought was available. A product that looks great longer. It also is helping the company by, one, helping the bottom line. Also, if you're pre-staining, it also helps your team members get hours on rain days, winter days, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's a win all the way around. Guys, check it out. Gopher Wood is the pre-stained wood product to check out, but also the Expert team sells the pre-stained machine if you're interested in going that route.
Absolutely.
Bam, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys as a company. I appreciate you personally coming on, making time available to come chat with me.
No problem. Anytime, Joe. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it a lot.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Guys, for now, Joe Everest, the fence expert.
Bam.
Reminding you that good fences make good neighbors, and we'll see you next time.